So you were a photojournalist. I mean, during that time, that was during the Iran and then Iraq wars, right?
Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Yeah.
So were you deployed and out there shooting during those times?
I was the new green kid, so unfortunately slash fortunately, I got to stay back on base at Yokota Air Base
Okay.
in Tokyo. So I was in Tokyo on base in the dark room. So the experienced at the time, remember I'm the new guy. So the experienced photojournalists would be sending film back, E6 slide film, black and white, color, C41. So we would be the guys that would be processing, printing, and mounting slides all day. So I did that for like 6 months before I even got a chance to shoot anything real. But as a result, I'm really good in a dark room.
So, yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. What kind of images were you seeing?
Oh, everything. Most of it classified, but we think of it this way. The photographers that are embedded with other units, because the Air Force would send photographers and they would be from our unit that would be embedded with Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, etc. So you just be the guys there documenting, and you'd be also part of the team if crap started happening, put the camera down and shoot the other thing. But they would send stuff back from these deployments, and their mission was to document the entire life cycle of the deployment, including all the missions that happened on the deployment. So everything from loading the aircraft, pallets going in the aircraft, to the aircraft in flight. The aircraft has landed, you're unloading, you're setting up camp, you're going on patrols, you're doing this, you're doing that. Every little detail was a giant. That's why it was the photojournalists in that role were documenting the deployments. They'd also go out and document different things and missions that were happening as well. We would get all that back, and they would come back with different priority levels. I had a top secret security clearance, so I got to see everything. So all this stuff's coming in, we'd process, print it, wouldn't barely look at it, because we just, after the 750th print of the day, you're just like, okay, it looks like a picture.
Pass it on. Yeah,
that looks good. Going, is it time to change the fixer yet? I think we can make it to
more sand. sand, and more sand.
Exactly. That's what it was. Yeah. So I did that for the first 2 years. And then I got orders back here, California, to Vandenberg Air Force Base, it's an Air Force base right on the coast, right along, it's about an hour north of Santa Barbara. It's like, if you look at a map of California, it kind of pokes out a little bit. That tip, 30 miles of that is military protected base, Air Force. And that's where we launch ICBM test launches. Tesla has launched some recently from there, but there's a number of missile silos on that base that they bring missileers from Montana and other parts of the country. That's where they train to press the button to launch their missiles. Wow. So we as photographers, they do test launches and all that. So we'd have to shoot that. We'd shoot space launches, because we had space launch complexes there. And they put a gazillion-dollar satellite on one of these Roman candles and light it off, and we'd have to take pictures of it. And we would, it's so interesting. So if you look at this, so scale, right? So this Corona imagine if this was a Titan space launch vehicle, right? So here's this Titan. The human is about that big next to it. Like that big standing. There's this giant American flag on there. So it's like that big. When we fly, when you photograph one of these launches, you're 3 miles away from the Corona, in an elliptical orbit. So you're orbiting, and they light it off 3 miles away. We're in a helicopter taking pictures. One time, the Titan, which at the time was the largest space launch vehicle, second only to the space shuttle. So they launched this thing, and it blows up above Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Oh, man.
We're just kids, right? The two pilots, there's a pilot and co-pilot. We're in a UH-1, those classic, doors open helicopters. So we're hanging out with the doors open, shooting. The thing blows up. The two pilots are our age. I think everybody's probably around 23 or something like that, right? So the two pilots say, "Oh crap!" Well, they said that, "Oh whatever," right? And they banked the aircraft. They banked the aircraft away from this giant ball of flame in the sky. We're in the air. It suddenly occurs to me that these two people with my life in their hands are nervous. The aircraft is banking, which, by the way, is full of aircraft fuel. There's a fire right there. The fire is so hot, Pi. It felt like if you put your face too close to the oven after you just open it, that
could
level
feel
of
it from that distance.
3 miles. 3 miles. We felt that, right?
No, there was nobody on board of this rocket, right? This was just a
no. It was just a satellite. Yeah,
just
it was just a satellite. It was an expensive satellite.
But 3 miles away, you can feel the blast still.
You can feel it. Yeah, you can feel it. It was uncomfortable on the ground. I think it would have been uncomfortable. In the air is horrifying because you're like,
wow,
all the stress. The aircraft is listening. You got to land so you're attached to the aircraft. You're not going to fall out, but it's doing crazy stuff. This spectacle is happening over there. You got the headphones on, and all you hear is "Holy shit!"
Dude.
People, but your job as the photographer, and there's a video guy sitting next to me with his big old camera, right? So we're in there doing the AV. That's the whole purpose of the flight. The mission is for us. So
to keep shooting.
So we're like, man, you get the knee-jerk reaction is to just grab yourself and close your eyes and hope you land. But we kept shooting. You got to keep shooting because there is no option to come back from that with no images, because that's the only images. And every click of that shutter is, top secret.
Oh man.
top secret, everything you shoot. I never even got to see any of those shots because as soon as we landed, somebody came and took my film and took everything. It's just gone. I never saw it again.
So you never have access to the photographs that you actually captured then? Like these aren't, do you have any of those images?
Launches. I do. Okay. Yeah, I have a bunch, but for those if an anomaly happens, then everything is classified. Everything has to go through the base public relations office at that point. So, and they're very locked down on everything at that point. If it's a non-classified launch, yeah, we take everything back to the lab and process and print and make an extra for me, all that stuff. So yeah, it's fun. I tell you, if you ever have the opportunity to go to like a SpaceX launch or something and photograph it, and it's at night, you'll understand the skill that it took to be in a moving helicopter shooting slide film at night of something that's brighter than the surface of the sun with no margin for errors or do-overs.
I can't imagine, dude. I can't imagine, not to mention the thing freaking blowing up while you're, oh my gosh. Was there a shockwave with that explosion that you felt hit the
I didn't
aircraft?
Feel it. I think the shockwave probably did hit the aircraft, but they had banked away and were moving in opposite direction by the time but yeah, it was so funny because it set half of the south base on fire. And like it was just, crispy critters everywhere. They were trying to get away from burning rocket fuel,
man. I can't imagine the debris that would be sent everywhere from an explosion like that. That's why everybody's 3 miles away.